Hello viewers, welcome back to the channel. In this particular tutorial, we are going to talk about set data structure. So let's first understand what is set in Python, and then we'll see how we can create it and what all different methods that we can use around set. So first property of the set that we need to understand is set does not allow duplicate, right? Set does not allow duplicates. That means we cannot, let's say we have any particular element already as a part of it, will not be able to add it, right? The second very important property of the set is it's unindexed. Unindexed means you cannot access set by giving any index. Why that's the case? Because it's unordered. When we say unordered, that means in a memory, set elements are not stored sequentially, and that's the reason we'll not be able to access an element of the set by using index. The third important attribute of the set is we can have a mixed types. Okay, data can be of any type. So these are the three major properties we have to access the about the sets, right? So let's see how we can create the set. It's a very simple. You can use any variable name, and curly brackets are used to specify the sets. But make sure whenever you want to create an empty set, you cannot use an empty curly bracket. Otherwise, by default, it will be considered as a dictionary. So if you want to create an empty set, you have one option is to use the set function, right? But if you are directly initializing your set with some data, that you can do simply something like this. Okay, inside a curly bracket, you can add multiple elements, right? So let's talk about or understand these attributes one by one. So first attribute we talked about, it does not allow duplicate, right? So let's create another set. And if you have an element, so we can have elements of any type, right? But here I'm just taking an integer. So here you can see I'm trying to add the duplicate element, right? So it will not at all complain that, okay, you are adding the duplicate. But if you go back and just print your set, you will see that whatever the duplicate elements were there, those are simply ignored, right? So that is what we are saying. Set does not allow duplicates. Now, the second thing is we cannot access set using index, right? So let's see whether that is happening or not. So my set of, let's say 0. So let's try to access. So we'll get the error that set object is not subscriptable. That means you cannot just access any subscript of that particular set, right? So second property is done. Now the third property, that is when we say unordered, that means in the memory, whatever elements we have in the set, those are not stored in an order. Okay, so these are the three major properties we have. Now, as we know, if you want to see what all methods or what all operation that we can do it on the set, we can use a dir method to see those operations. So let's run it. So here you can say it's a very large list of attributes we have, okay, that we can perform on the set. So let's try to understand. So let's first go with the add. So basically my set.add, this add method is used to add any element into the set. But one thing that we need to understand, again, set does not allow duplicate. So if you have that element already exist in the set, and if you are trying to add it, it will not do anything. It will simply ignore, right? So in our set, we already have a 4, right? So let me just maybe print it first. My set. So we have this 4 elements. So if I do my set dot add, if you add a new element, that will get added. Okay, you can see if 5 got added. But now if I do my set dot add, let's try to add 4 again. So it is not at all complaining, but if you go back and see my set, we don't have any change in our list, our set, right? So that's the first property. Let's talk about the some remove methods, like how we can remove the elements. So basically, if you see, there are two methods we have to remove the element from the set, that is pop and remove. So let's try to understand it. So my set dot pop. So what pop method says, if you just try to get the help, it says remove and return an arbitrary. Why arbitrary? Because set is unordered collection, right? That's why it's an arbitrary. So any element will be removed from the set, and if the set is empty, it will give you the error. So let's try to just run the pop. You can see one got removed. Okay, but there is no guarantee that it always first element will be removed. Okay, so you can use pop to remove any arbitrary element from the set. Okay, so let's try to understand the second method for a removal, that is remove. Now what this remove method says, remove an element from the set, it must be a member. So we can pass the value and it will go and check that element into the set. If it is available, it will remove. If it is not available, we'll get the key error. So let's try it. Let's try to remove the 5. So it's there. It got removed. If you go back and just run it, we don't have 5 now. But if you just try to run it again, my set dot remove. Now 5 is not there. I'm trying to remove. You can see we got it here, key error, right? So these are the two methods we can use to remove the element. Now we have a lot of other methods basically, but those works on the, if we have two different sets. Okay, so it's, if you know some statistic stuff where we can have a symmetric set, we can have an adjoint, subset, superset. These are the some operation we can do. So we'll see that. Before that, let me show you. If you want to add multiple elements into the set, how you can do this. Basically, this is our original set. And if you want to add multiple elements in the set, what you can do is my set dot update method, you can use it. Okay, and here you can pass any sequence. Okay, your list is also fine. So let's say if I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what will happen now when we try to add multiple element into the set? If the element already exists, it will ignore. If it is not there, it will add the new. So let's try to run it. You can see, let's print the my set. So 2, 3, 4 was already there. So those are ignored. 1 and 5 got added. So this is how you can use the update method. Let's see the next method, union. Okay, so union means what? We have two sets and we are trying to do the union. Union means what? It will just take a union of two sets. That means, let's say in the first set we have 1, 2, 3, and in the second set we have a 3, 4, 5. So 3 is a common, so common elements will be taken only once, right? So let me do one thing. Let's take one set which has 1, 2, 3, and let's take another set, set 2, which has 3, 4, 5, right? And now if I do set 1 dot union set 2, and if you run it, you can see 3 was duplicate. Okay, 3 was a common in two set, so that's why it took once and we got the union, right? So this is how you can use the union method. Now we have a difference method as well. So let's take this both the set as is. So basically difference means what? Now when we are applying a set 1 dot difference, so this method you are trying to apply it on the set 1, okay, and we are passing the set 2 as an argument. So what it is trying to find is what is the difference in a set 1 and set 2 in the context of set 1. So here in a set 1 we have 1, 2, 3, and in a set 2 we have a 3, 4, 5. So in the context of set 1, what is the difference we have? So 3 is there, so it will just ignore that. So difference is 1 and 2. So that's what output will get. That's the difference. And when we do difference update, okay, if I do set 1 dot difference update, that means whatever the difference we saw just now, that will be updated in the set 1. So if I run it, you can see set 1, if you print it, whatever the difference was there, that difference got updated in the set 1. Okay, there is no change in the set 2. Set 2 is there as is, right? So let's see next couple of methods again quickly. We have a symmetric difference. Okay, here you can see the list of method. We have seen difference. So we haven't seen the discard. Let me show you that first. So let's print a set 1. So discard means what? If you do set1 dot discard, right? So what discard method says, remove an element from the set if it is a member. If the element is not a member, do nothing. So it's a similar to remove. Only thing is remove method gives the key error if the element is not there, and discard is not giving any error if the element is not there. So using discard is more safer than remove, because if you are using remove, you have to use exception handling. If you are not using, if you are using a discard, even if you don't use the exception handling, that's perfectly fine, right? So that's it. Now let's see the next set of method. So let me talk about the intersection. Intersection means what? Basically the common element only it will return, right? So if we have this two set, and if I do set1 dot intersection, okay, intersection with the set2. So what is the intersection? 3, right? And if you do intersection update, basically it will update that intersection in the set1, right? So these are some methods we have that we can perform on the set. So I hope everyone understood about the set. So if you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends. Thanks for watching the video.